We've been out showing a lot of homes lately in Scottsdale and over in Sun City. And one of the things we keep coming up against is solar systems. Are solar systems worth it to put on your home? Do they affect the resale value of your home? Does it make your home worth more money or less money? How does it affect buyers when they're trying to buy your home? In today's video, we're going to talk about those questions and more. Stick around to the end of the video and we're going to give you all the information. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, as we're putting a lot of effort in trying to give these informational videos. Thanks for watching. Comment down below. Let's get into it. So we've been over in Sun City showing quite a few homes, and I was surprised at how many homes over there have solar on it. Right now in Sun City, there's 82 homes for sale. And of those 82 homes right now, 16 of those homes have solar on them. So the first thing you need to think about when you're looking at putting solar on your home is how long are you going to own your home? The second thing you need to consider is, does it increase the value of my home? Does it remain the same? Is it a detriment to selling my home down the road, or is it a positive? Now, being that we're in Arizona and the sun shines 320 days a year, you would think that solar would be a great option and should probably be on every home. The problem is, when your home is older or a resale home, there's a number of factors that you need to take a look at. Primarily, if you're going to lease the solar panels versus buying the solar panels, that's a huge difference right off the bat. So if we look on this chart right here, you can see that in Sun City, for an example, right now there's 82 homes for sale. Now, me and my client are filtering through all these homes. We're out looking at a bunch of homes. And I have to tell you right off the bat, when you're buying a home and you have to assume a lease of a solar system, it's definitely not a positive for your home. And currently right now on leases, out of 82 homes, there's 16 homes in Sun City that you have to assume a lease on. Now, let's just say the average price of a solar system on a home in Sun City, and don't just get caught up in your head that Sun City is what I'm talking about because you're not 55 plus. It's just the fact that it doesn't make financial sense unless you're really out there and you care about the environment and you're just doing it strictly as an investment into the environment. Because here's the situation. The average solar system probably costs between $20,000 and $30,000. If the home is over 2,500 square feet, it could be up to $50,000. So what you have to do is simple math. You look at the cost of that over time. You're taking out a lease or a loan on that solar system, and you're going to be making payments over the next 20 or 30 years. So most of the people that are in Sun City, let's say the average is 65 years old right now, and they're thinking about putting a solar system on because there's a lot of really good solar salespeople out there, and they make it seem like it's such a great deal for everybody. Well, again, it's better for some than others. For an example, right here, we talk about the new tax credits, right? Who really can get the tax credits on this? And right now, with the new program, they're going to basically pay for 30% of your system. Well, that rebate sounds great, but the thing is, if you're retired or you're in a low tax bracket, if you're not making income and you don't have anything to offset those costs with, the rebates aren't going to do you any good. It may take you years to absorb that rebate. If you're below, your retirement ages and you're planning on keeping the home for at least 10 to 15 years, that's when it would start making sense. In general, I would say it takes about 10 years to pay off for people that buy a solar system to the point where they're getting ahead. In the beginning, people say, well, I'm not making an electric payment. Well, you are, because you're paying for the solar panels. Another thing on the solar panels is the fact that they cannot go on a roof before the roof is replaced. And a lot of these solar companies will skip that process. But to do it right, if you have a roof on your home, a shingle roof, and you're thinking about putting solar panels on, most likely if your roof is 10 years old or older, you need to replace that roof before you put the panels on. And on an average 2,000 square foot home, that's probably about another 15 or 20,000 now. It used to be you could do a roof like that for under 10,000. But with inflation, things have really changed. So now you take a $30,000 solar system and you make it 45. It would be no different than going out and buying a car that's worth $100,000 and down the road it's worth less. Now people ask, is my solar system going to increase my property value? Zillow apparently says it will increase your value by 4%. That must just depend on where you live, because I can tell you in Arizona, it's not going to bring any more value to your home. It's actually going to be a negative to have it on your home. Because if somebody's coming in to buy your home for, let's say, $500,000, and there's a $25,000, $30,000 solar lease on top of it, that means they're really paying an extra $30,000 for your home. And that lease has terms that you were not able to negotiate, and you're going to be paying interest on those panels. So let's just say you go in and the solar made enough so that it could absorb most all of your bill. Again, if that's $300 a month on an average electric bill, or $200 year round, depending on, winter you're going to use a lot less, summer you're going to use a lot more electric for your air conditioner. Ultimately, what that means is you're going to have an additional payment on that property. Now, would you be better off taking $30,000 or $40,000, even if you could borrow it, and putting it into a kitchen or a bathroom remodel or something else? Don't get me wrong, I'm not against solar at all. I would love to have solar, but the only way solar really makes sense from the get-go is if you can afford to put it on your home and pay cash for it. At that point, the people that are coming to buy your home down the road, they're not going to have to take on an extra $20,000 or $30,000. For an example, in Sun City, when we were looking over there, some of the leases were only in place for 5 years. That means for another 20 years, that person that just retired at 65 or 70 years old is going to have that additional payment on the home. So let's say, for an example, they paid the home, paid cash for the home. Now they're going to have that additional money every month. And yes, it offsets the electric. So it's really a wash, right? That's how solar people would explain it. But it's not really a wash, because most people are not going to keep that home in Sun City for the next 10 or 15 years. And even if they kept it 10 more years, let's say they're 72, now they're 82, the person buying that home from them has to continue on with the existing lease and another 10 years of payments. In a regular situation where you're not retired, if you're not going to stay in your home for at least 10 years, maybe that's the break-even point, then you don't put solar on your home. I will tell you that showing homes again in Scottsdale and Sun City in the last couple of weeks, any property that had solar on it, if it was not owned outright, we were most likely going to take a pass on buying that home. So now you have, in Sun City, for an example, you have a little over 15, 16, 20% of the homes that have a solar panel lease on them. Now, owned solar in there was about 4 or 5 homes that they actually own the solar. That is a home that my clients would take an interest in. But ultimately, when it comes to solar, there's a lot of crazy solar salesmen out there. There's a lot of real estate agents that sell solar too. If you can buy a home with a system already on it in place, and you can see all the details of how much you're going to save, it makes sense. But you have to do the math. It's not an emotional thing, but it is an additional cost on the home. And in many instances, before you close title on that and sell your home, let's just say, for an example, you had a $500,000 home, you paid $300,000, you go to sell the home, you have $200,000 of profit from what you paid, less your closing costs and expenses. Now you think you're walking away with a certain amount of money, let's say $175,000, but you have a solar lease on there, and your lease may require that panel be paid off in full before you close. Now the seller is most likely out another $25,000. So the bottom line on this is, keep in mind, before you put solar on your home, what your plan is for your home, what your strategy is. And if you don't have enough taxes being owed to offset to get some of these rebates, then you may want to think twice. And just remember, the people coming in to buy your home, they are not going to have access to these rebates. So for retired people over 55, 65 years old, up in your 70s and 80s, putting solar on your home most likely is going to hurt the sale of your home down the road. It's not going to be a benefit to anybody buying it. So thanks for tuning in today. I just wanted to share this information. It's something that comes up often, especially in Arizona. And I'm out in the field every day showing homes, and I can tell you how my buyers are reacting to it. Nobody wants to take on something that down the road would need more repairs. And if you put solar on an old roof, when you go to replace the roof, you're going to have to take all the panels back off and re-roof the home and put the panels back on. And that's going to increase your costs dramatically. Thanks for watching today. Have a great day.